sad day for me. We are out here getting ready to winterize the RV, and this is just depressing because it means summer is over, no more camping trips until next year. We're going to take you guys through the process of winterizing your plumbing today. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is the big day. We're going to winterize our plumbing. So we're going to take you through that process step by step. And the first thing we have to do is actually go out and drain the water heater and blow that out. So that's going to be step one. I'm going to backtrack just a moment here. This is how you winterize our particular RV. It will give you a general idea of how it's done, but really you need to refer to your owner's manual for specific instructions on how to winterize your own, because there might be slight differences. We have a tankless water heater, so our process is a little bit different than somebody that has one with a tank in it. So just keep that in mind as you're watching this video, that there may be some slight differences as far as how we get things done. Just mentioned about referring to your owner's manual. This is our second run at doing this, but we're still going to be referring to this throughout the process because we don't want to miss any steps. And here's where we're starting, right here, draining and blowing out the water heater. So here we go.
And behind this lovely panel is our tankless hot water heater.
For this step in the process, I also forgot to mention to you guys, you want to make sure all your faucets are closed inside and all your low point drains are closed. This is a look at our water heater. He already got a head start on me here, and he removed the filter cover, which goes over that opening down there. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. And then he is taking off this drain plug next. You just want to be really careful when you're removing these fittings that you don't strip anything out. So take your time and do it right. And here's where we're going to be connecting that air compressor. You want to make sure you're applying no more than 30 psi of air to the city water connection. And after water stops draining from the water heater, we're going to shut off the air compressor. And definitely want to stand back here. You can see it's pushing the water right out there through the drain. It's doing its thing. I'm watching for this to stop. Once it stops, I'll have him shut off the air compressor.
This is a 6-gallon, they call it a pancake air compressor. This particular one has a capability of 150 psi. We were only using 30.
And now that the water's been blown out of the water heater, we're going to go ahead and reinstall the filter basket and the drain plug. We'll leave the cover off because once we're done with the antifreeze process, we'll be coming out here for a few more things. Sorry, guys, I missed recording this part. You want to open up your low point drains at this point and allow the water to drain out of the system and then close them up again before adding the antifreeze.
All right, the water pump for our RV is underneath one of the dinette benches. So I went ahead and I removed the cushion and the cover, and our water pump is right in here. And then I also recommend for this part, you throw down a towel to put under the antifreeze. All right, the next part of the process is to go ahead and get the antifreeze into the system. So that's what we're going to be doing next. And oh, I should mention it. I think it took us 5 of these gallon jugs last year. So we're going with 5 again this year. Let's see what happens. One of the first things you need to do is remove this cap from the end of the suction line. So once that end cap is removed, what you want to do then is you want to put that down inside your antifreeze container, all the way down in, and then I need to go in here and turn on the valve or switch the valve, and it's in a weird spot. It's underneath this. All right, I'm sure you cannot see it. It was pointing out in this direction. It was pointing out in this direction, and then I had to twist it, so now it's pointing out this way. That's for the winterization process. That's an important step. Without doing that, it's not going to work. This is where our water pump switch is. So we're going to go ahead and turn that on.
We're going to be starting with the hot water side of the system. Nothing's heated here. It's just that we're running it through the hot water side, and then we'll switch over to the cold water side. As we're letting the water run through the faucet, we're looking for the pink liquid to start coming through. When it's a nice steady stream, we know that it's filled.
And we're watching for that to come through. It's pushing all the water out. There you can see, here comes the pink liquid. It's a nice even flow, so we can go ahead and turn that off. Same thing, turning it on, letting the water flow. And while it's bringing this antifreeze through the lines in the trailer, it's also putting that antifreeze in that tankless water heater in the lines there. So it's going to be protecting that as well. And there we go. Nice, good, pink, steady flow. All right, so our next step in the process, now that we have all the hot water lines blown out inside the trailer, is we want to take care of that outside shower, I think is what they call it. There's one more hot water line, and it's on the outside near the docking station. So let's go have a look at that.
Hey guys, unfortunately, I lost the footage of me winterizing the outside spray ports. Really, the only thing you need to know there is you continue with the process of starting on the hot water side of things and then switching over to cold whenever you're ready to do the cold water lines in the next part of the process. The other thing I would tell you is to have a 5-gallon bucket handy just so that you can spray into that while you're letting that antifreeze come through the lines. You're really not supposed to let that antifreeze on the ground. It is non-toxic, but it can be harmful to plants. So just make sure you have a bucket handy and then you can dump it down a drain when you're finished.
Okay, back in the RV, now it's time to go ahead and run the water through the cold lines and the toilet. You can't forget about the toilet, so that's what's next. So running it through the kitchen sink, and that is already looking good. All right, heading in here to the shower, same thing. We're gonna turn on that cold water this time. Give it time to run through the length of the hose because what it was pushing out there was from the hot water. And this is looking pretty bright pink, so I think we're okay with this. Now we're going to do this sink. See, it's clear because it's pushing through those lines and you're waiting for it to turn bright pink. And here it goes. All right, that's looking pretty good there. All right, we just finished up. We did use all 5 gallons. We maybe only needed 4, but we really want to make sure that those lines have nothing but antifreeze running through them. So all 5 gallons are exhausted. At this point, we need to turn off the water pump, return the winterization valve to its normal position, and put the plug back in the end of the water hose that's at the water pump. So that's what we're doing next. What I'm going to do now is get down in here, and it's going to be really hard. You aren't going to be able to see, I don't think, but this valve that's back here that probably Dan could not get his hand back here, I'm going to move that into its normal position for if we needed to use the water pump when we're camping. So this cap just gets screwed right back into the hose here. Well, maybe it does. Before I close this up, I'm going to go ahead and wipe everything down because this hose has antifreeze on it. So I'm going to go ahead and clean everything up, and then I'll get this bench put back together. Just wanted to show you guys what we're using. You don't have to use this brand, of course, but what you want to make sure is that you're using an RV and marine antifreeze when you're doing this. And for our trailer, it took 5 gallons. Probably could have got away with 4, but we did the full 5 because we wanted to make sure those lines were thoroughly flushed with the antifreeze. This might be overkill, but I did add some toilet seal to the toilet as well. It has the antifreeze in there, so I know it's going to protect it from the freeze and thaw process. But this is a lubricant and conditioner that keeps that seal in good working condition. So went ahead and put this in there. Certainly not going to hurt anything. Don't know if it's going to help anything. It worked last year, so I'm doing it again this year. Our trailer has a black tank flush line, so that has to be blown out after the antifreeze has been added using no more than max of 70 psi. And we're back out at the water heater right now, and all I'm going to do is go ahead and hit the off switch, and it's going to stay there until the spring. Now you're supposed to, as the last step, remove the drain plug and let the antifreeze come out, which it just did. And then you leave that off for the duration of winter. So we'll just set it inside this compartment here and then replace the cover. And I also took a moment and installed this insect protector over that vent area of the water heater, just to keep little critters from crawling in there and building like a nice nest when the weather changes.
And that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is follow the directions. Be very meticulous about following the directions. Don't skip any steps. Do exactly what it's telling you to do, and you will be fine. And you're also going to save some money in the process, which, we could all use a little bit of that. So thanks so much for joining me today. If you found this video to be helpful, don't forget to like, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.